On logging into Sage 300 ERP, you are presented with projects as a menu option, just like any other Sage module. Teams can describe organizational structures, geographic location, or a functional area. Teams can be linked to people and to projects to allow cost and revenue to be distributed within your general ledger. Projects maintains its own information about each of the people who can access the product. This allows external parties, i.e. non-Sage 300 users, to access the product. Multiple roles are supported, including a timesheet role, subcontractor, manager, and administrator. Basic information associated with each person is stored in the setup screen, and it can be expanded through the use of optional fields. The expense type screen allows the definition of all the expenses that can be claimed through the timesheet. In addition, it can be also used to define distribution codes in accounts payable that can be captured and pushed through to the projects module. Optional markup percentages and fixed amounts can then be applied to these costs as they are posted from accounts payable to the project. A number of options exist in terms of reimbursement of the expense type. The expense type can be reimbursed back to the employee via an accounts payable invoice, or reimbursed to a separate vendor account. Double-clicking on Project Manager will fire up the main application component of the product. Project Manager allows projects and quotes to be created, review of timesheets and timesheet approval, creation of invoices, and generation of reports. The project module can be executed from within the Sage 300 module, or it can be accessed externally for users who do not have Sage 300 installed. Double-clicking on the Projects Manager icon presents a dialog allowing the user to log in. This then presents the same application as executed from within Sage 300 ERP. On logging in to the Project Manager, the user is presented with a dashboard. The dashboard can be customized by a user with sufficient rights. A design button will appear for these users, and on clicking it, the dashboard will move into design mode. In this mode, additional dashboard items can be added in the form of a graph, a grid, or a box. In the graph mode, a number of chart types can be applied. The grid mode is useful for displaying list information, and the box key KPIs. On defining the dashboard item, clicking Save will add it through to the dashboard. From here, it can be resized and removed around. Clicking Save allows then the dashboard item to be saved in under various scopes. For example, a global scope, or a dashboard for a specific team, or in this case, a dashboard for a specific user, being the administrator. Clicking Save will drop the dashboard out of design mode, and now we can see the additional dashboard widget. As we further explore the Project Manager, the next menu item is Projects and Quotes. This provides a list to the user of all the projects and quotes that they are associated with. In this case, we are logged in as an administrator, so we are able to see every project in the entire system. If I was to log in as a project manager, I would only see the projects that are linked to me or to my team, depending on the security setup. Across the top we have some functions to create and edit and copy projects. We have some filters to allow us to easily filter specific projects for a specific customer, or if we're looking for a one targeted project, we can find it very easily. And we have some status filters. Each of these can be minimized out to create a nice clean screen. The grid that's presented is editable, so if I show fields, I can choose what fields that I want to display in the grid, and this includes any custom fields or optional fields that I have created against the project. Double-clicking on the project will then display a project level dashboard with the same properties as the global dashboard. Segments will then allow you to define your work breakdown structure, and also an unlimited number of budgets for each of the individual segments, and each budget being time, materials, expense, either a baseline, approved change, or outstanding change. Each budget can be linked to a person, a supplier, an expense, or a stock item, allowing you to track your budget versus actual against an individual person or subcontractor or inventory item. Details displays a set of optional fields or custom fields. The People tab allows you to define the individuals who will be working on this project if it is not to be a global project, and the rate and cost rates to be used at a project level. This information can also be defined at each individual segment. Transactions displays all the available transactions that have hit the project, with grouping and filtering available very quickly and easily. Clicking Invoice allows you to create invoices associated with the project. The invoice option has two methods of creating the bills. The first is a payment schedule. So in a situation where the project has a set payment schedule, that information can be entered into the project and the invoice is raised directly from within the project manager. The state of the invoice is presented, allowing the project manager to see at a glance the status of that bill. In addition, invoices can be generated based on work in progress or budgets directly from within the screen. The projects also have an unlimited number of documents that can be stored against the project. These documents are easily added just via using the Finder, and then easily viewed just by clicking the Open button. This downloads the document from the SQL server and presents it in the application if available. The key thing is these documents are stored in the SQL server itself, removing the risk of them being potentially deleted from the file system. The delete document simply flags the document as deleted in Projects. It was never actually physically deleted. Projects has a number of methods of time capture. The first and most commonly used is the web timesheet. The web timesheet can be accessed from any device and allows the user to log in and very simply and easily capture their time and expenses. Favorites can be defined to automatically populate the timesheet, and each entry as entered can have an individual narration or a narration by line. As many lines as are required to fully capture the week can be defined. In addition, this unlimited number of expense types can also be captured. Clicking Save completes the timesheet entry. And once the user is complete, Submit Timesheet can be clicked. This then flags the timesheet records as available for the approval process. Logging into the timesheet as an administrator will allow the user to enter on behalf of any other user of the system. Logging into the timesheet as a team leader will allow entry of timesheets on behalf of any member of their team. The second timesheet capture method is Outlook based. Using this method, the timesheet is simply a series of calendar appointments. Creating you a calendar appointment will present a dialog that can then be used to code the timesheet. In addition, expenses can be captured for each of the individual items. When the timesheet is ready to be submitted, the user can click Complete Timesheet, refresh, and the timesheet that has been entered is available to be submitted up to the server. The third method of capturing time in projects is a timer-based capture system. Clicking on the little alarm clock here will start a new timer, which again can be coded directly through to the project that it needs to go to, including the segment. Comments and narrations can be edited. The timer can be paused and started as often as required. And various options allow multiple timers to be executed at once or only one timer. So in this case I've created a new timer record which is then paused the old one. Pausing this one will start the other one. This is an option. It is possible to have as many active timers as you want as well. On completion we can click submit. If we had left the timer running long enough there would be a duration. We can also click on the ledger here and see all the pauses, the starts and stops, and then we can click the button and submit it, which then submits up to the server. Projects also has a web service available, so if the time has been captured in an external system, this information can be pushed into the Projects module directly via a web service. Projects has very deep integration into Sage 300 ERP. The product is integrated into accounts payable, accounts receivable, purchase orders and inventory control, as well as the general ledger. Projects integration into accounts payable allows any line on an AP invoice to be coded through to a project and segment combination. Entering in the AP invoice as per normal, I can then go through and choose the project that I would like to code it to, the segment. I can associate the line with an employee, and I can even define a markup to be applied. Clicking on insert allows me to create another line, such as airfares. So in this case I have one line coded through to a project module and the next line is not coded. Cleaning up. 1275, and now we have done AP invoice entry. So in the same way we can do that for accounts payable, we have the same functionality in accounts receivable and also inventory control shipments and purchase orders, allowing a purchase order to be created directly against a project, and as the receipt process and invoice process occur, these move through these stages in the projects module. The billing manager allows recognition of costs and revenue, but also allows billing for complicated invoices, invoices spanning multiple projects, invoices that are requiring specific groupings. The application allows writing off of work in progress as well as writing on of work in progress. Invoices that have been issued historically can be viewed in here, and also all the detail associated with them viewed. In addition to dashboard reporting, Projects also comes supplied with a number of Crystal reports. These reports are accessed from the Reports menu option. Clicking on Reports displays each of the categories of reports that are available, and drilling into that category displays the report. All parameters are then displayed for the Crystal report, and on executing it, a standard Crystal report will be displayed. There are Crystal reports for productivity analysis, project analysis, work in progress reporting, as well as standard sort of master file reporting. In addition to Crystal reports, Projects come supplied with a method of accessing project information directly from Excel. Clicking on the PRJ reports analysis sheet will start Excel. And on loading Excel, we'll construct a pivot table of project information. This pivot table has a large number of fields associated with each individual transaction in the Projects module. This allows slicing and dicing of data. In addition to pivot table reporting, Projects also supplies an add-in to Excel that allows functions to call project information directly. Logging into the add-in will create a number of Excel functions that can be called from any cell. For a real-time live link through to the project. A large number of functions exist, including the ability to get estimate to complete, percent complete information, budget information, costs and values. Using these three reporting methods, all the information is visible and available. No manual Excel spreadsheets need to be maintained, as the information can be defined and then drawn real time into the analysis sheets. Projects has a number of methods of customizing the product to meet specific requirements. In many cases, an organization will require information to be captured against a project where there is normally no field available. To meet this requirement, Projects has an implementation of optional fields. Under the administration option, a tags designer is available, and we can go and click on any entity within the projects module and define a custom screen to capture custom information. For example, I can remove the label and the other control and add an address field, so we might just add a multi-line text box for the address. And we can then say that the field is address, it'd be not 400. And then clicking on save, this address field is now available in any project that we access. And can be saved against the project. So using tags, you can add additional fields against any segment within a project. And in addition to most of the master files in Sage. For example, if we go and look at employees, we can create tags against each individual employee. And likewise against teams. So the tags or /optional fields, when combined with reporting, allows you to do reporting on unlimited dimensions associated with any project, team, employee. We can also hook the tags into transactional screens in accounts payable and accounts receivable. And this tag information then can flow directly in and be linked against the associated transaction going forward. Tags is a powerful solution for adding additional fields to any entity within the projects module, but sometimes additional functionality is required. To allow this, Projects has a built-in extensibility framework that allows plugins or add-ins to be written for the product itself. When we open up the Sage X3 support project, in addition to the standard menu items across the bottom, we have a new one called Service Pack Hours and another one called Functions. These are not a part of the core product, they are add-ins to the projects. The Service Pack Hours implements a very simple inquiry screen that allows the user to see the net available hours on a job at a glance, and also to raise and manipulate those hours. The Functions add-in allows the user to create inventory from work in progress instead of generating bills. Both these sets of functionality have been developed outside of the core product and can be developed by any user with sufficient programming knowledge. Templates are provided for Microsoft Visual Studio. Using tags and add-ins allow a wide range of customization to be done. For example, adding tags to represent key information around a quote allows a crystal report to be generated. In addition to presenting screens, the add-in module can be silent and simply update a web service. So as a project is created, a web service can be opened and the new project passed to that web service so that an external system can be updated. This concludes a demonstration of Projects.